Well, welcome to our very first podcast, Her Circle podcast. I'm Chandler. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am 32, newly, birthday Scorpio. Married to my husband for a little over 9 years. It's just us. Nothing too exciting or crazy. We love to travel, see the world, do all the things. I want to go anywhere and everywhere. I was in the medical field for about 10 years, just got out of that. And now we own a gymnastics gym in Dallas area. Didn't technically, but when we're doing that, I just opened an online boutique and completely switched what I was doing around, and we're doing the darn thing. So,
and here we are.
Here we are. We decided, hey, why not do this thing?
Yeah.
So here we are doing.
We're giving it a shot.
Yes. So.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm Ashley. I'm 32 also. I'll be 33 in January. I've been married for 10 years, almost 11 in February.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. You're old.
I have 3 kids. Heston, Liv, and Roan.
That's the cutest.
They're my dream come true, are those little kids most of the time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's see. I love to be outside with my family and my kids. I love being at the beach. We spend like a month in Florida every summer.
Dreams.
I like reading when I can.
Yeah.
I like Leanne Moriarty. Have you read any of her books?
Yeah, I have. I couldn't tell you what ones off the top of my head, but like I know her and I know I've read some of hers.
Anything she does that translates into like a show or a movie, so good.
Okay, she Pretty Little Lies? Or
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies, yeah. That's her, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I like her.
Yeah. Because I like the style of books she does. It's like you read it and you don't know or you think you know, and then it's like, psych, that's not actually what's going on or what happened. And then it's like the last page, something happens and you're just, that's it.
Yeah. Like, she's got lots of good
it's fun.
Twists, good characters.
Yeah.
So when I have time, I like to read her books. And Gillian Flynn. Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Sharp Objects.
I might have read Sharp Objects.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like them all.
I'm really bad about like telling you the books I've read and like who they are, but I know I've read books.
Yeah. You read a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get a book back and I read it and I'm like, this sounds vaguely familiar. And then I look back, I'm like, oh, I read that like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Same.
So that's unfortunate.
It's nice. Getting older is great.
I know, it really is. I mean, hey, at least we're getting older.
Love it.
Because
yes, that's true.
There would be an alternative if we weren't. But
yeah.
Well, I think today in this podcast, we're just going to go over a little bit about us, who we are, kind of how our friendship started.
Our history.
Funny stories.
Because we've been friends since we were
8?
6 or 7.
I don't know.
I think you were 7 and I was 8 maybe.
Yeah, you're a little bit older. Well, at the time we met, might have been the same age.
Yeah, because we're born the same year.
Yeah.
But we've just been friends for
over
always.
20,
You've just always been there in my life.
I don't remember many things before you.
Yeah.
There's like those certain memories in life you remember, like those random things, like I was telling you about the running away with the chicken pox. It's like those little things, but I'm like, there's not much life I remember before you in it.
Same.
Yeah. So just going over some fun memories, maybe what each other remembers or don't remember, funny stories. We'll do a little Q&A to see if maybe we actually really know each other.
That's going to be interesting.
We don't know the questions.
My husband printed them out and they're right here. We haven't looked at them yet. And
we'll look at them together.
I'm curious because we know each other so well, but how well do we know each other?
It's like almost, I'm curious on what kind of questions, because I think about like, we know each other so well, but not necessarily like this little like basic things like, what's your favorite food? I don't know. Like the simple things like that. But I'm like, but I know you.
Right.
So it's funny. I don't know what kind of questions these are.
Yeah.
And he also kind of slightly made me nervous about
one of the questions in particular.
So it'll be fun. We'll just kind of go from there. But do you want to start from the beginning of maybe like remembering us, because you remember the first time you saw me.
I believe that this was the first time I saw you.
And I don't. Apparently I was just.
I only twice in my life have I ever seen a person and thought, I've got to be friends with that person. And the first time was with you.
Oh,
I was
there we go.
walking through Desert Devils.
Uh-huh.
I was touring the gym for the first time because I was going to switch gymnastic centers.
Okay.
So I'm walking through and you were standing on like a cheese mat
Uh-huh.
and underneath a bar. So you were like leaning on the bar like
Okay.
this. And Heidi, our coach
Yeah.
Heidi was next to you and you were saying something to her very intensely. And your hair was your little half up.
Short.
Yeah. And you had your highlights that were just like little frizzy highlights all over the place because your hair just like would, do that.
Just the mane pretty much.
And you were probably arguing with Heidi about something. And I remember walking through, and the leotard you were wearing was the black one that was split in half. And it had like the planets on one side and the black velvet.
Yeah.
And I just remember walking through and thinking, like the feeling so intense, like I have to be friends with that girl. Like,
I love that.
She's going to be my friend. And here we are.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Like I love hearing that. And it also makes me like mad that I don't have, like I feel like you remember more things than I do.
Yeah.
Like details about things, just like in general.
Yeah.
I wish like I had that brain to where I'm like, I wish I remembered like specific moments of that I like had that feeling.
I don't know why I've always been like that. Like certain things, like it's almost a freeze frame in my mind. I can perfectly see you still, like
That's
that
funny.
little version of Chandler.
That was pretty cute.
You are so cute.
I was telling something the other day. We were talking about baby pictures and how they're like, oh, yeah, I just like, whoa, I changed so much as a baby and like so different. I was like, if I showed you my baby picture right now, you would be like, oh yeah, that's you.
Hands down, that's
like
Chandler.
I've changed, but it's like that's you. And I showed her, and she was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'm just that. I've looked the same. I'm like, it's so funny how some people you're like, that's you. Yeah. I'm like, no, it's just been consistent.
It is so consistent. Your nose has always been the same.
Yeah,
always.
And my hair. Like the frizziness of my big old head and everything. Didn't you think Heidi was my mom?
Oh, yeah. I thought Heidi was your mom for the longest time. Because she had short, dark hair too. And she like wore it in the same style. So my little kid brain was like, oh, that's her mom. Surely that's her mom.
That's so funny.
You know?
And so then after you started, we were in the same, we went automatically in the same group, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because it was, we were in level 4 together. And Heidi... Did we have another coach? I remember Andrea.
I remember someone, and I don't know why I want to say Jill, and I feel like that's not right at all. But I remember somebody with like really curly hair. And I don't know if that... Leah.
Yeah, she was our favorite coach.
Yeah, why Jill? I don't know. Yeah. See, I don't know if this is why you're going to be my memory. Yeah. Do you remember her showing us that she could spin on her head?
No.
Okay, I do. Like a break dance?
She did she did that?
Well, I mean, maybe not for you.
Huh.
But I loved her.
Yeah, she was great.
Time. She was just really fun.
Stephanie, remember Stephanie?
Oh yeah,
she was a great coach. I mean, we had great coaches.
Yeah, I look back on like that whole just gym experience in general. Even when I got up into more competitive, I had good coaches. I was very, very thankful for that, and I felt like I had good relationships with each
very fortunate
coach that I was able to be myself and not so. Like serious because it was, but also goofy because I felt like I was that kind of, I don't know, weird, but I was, we were weird.
Yeah.
I mean, to where we had some fun memories was Stephanie the one that we would always lean in, like the Ace Ventura thing.
Oh, yeah.
We'd whisper in her ear and we'd say, excuse me, your balls are showing.
Yeah.
And she'd go, Bumblebee Tuna. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But we did. We would just randomly do that.
And Leah was the one that was friends with JC Phelps, right?
I feel like that tracks.
Because I remember her coming to a competition with us. And I have a picture of like all 3 of us together.
That's so funny.
Because she was in the Olympics, right?
JC Phelps.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wasn't she this Magnificent 7? I think she was one of them.
Maybe.
I'm pretty confident in that. I feel like I should know that more. But I'm like, there was just so many.
There's so many.
And so many girl gymnasts that just were like phenomenal in groups that it's like, where did you fall in that place? But I think she was part of the Magnificent 7.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say that, but not sure.
Yeah, I'm going to check my.
And we started with So we were in level 4 together is when you got there and we started.
Yeah, because I had left another gym. I can't remember the name. So that was my first memory of Chandler.
I'm sorry to admit I don't have that, and I wish I did. I just remember random things of there, and it was just like you were just always there.
I just had always existed.
Were we like the youngest in that group?
I don't remember who else was even with us.
Well, I mean,
honestly,
I remember like Kirsten and Kelsey.
Oh yeah, Jory.
Yes. I know. I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Describe her to me.
She had a sister, and I remember her sister's name.
Olivia and Maddie.
Oh yeah,
right.
No, that's not who I was thinking of, but
them.
Yeah, because there was
Casey.
Oh yeah, Casey was there too. I want to say I follow her on Instagram, and if you're listening to this ever, I am so sorry, but I follow her on Instagram, and her husband have like their own like business, and I want to say something maybe like, I don't know, insurance, money, something. She had a sister named Bobby.
Diane.
That was Diane?
Yeah. Dieter.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. She's the one, she commented on our Facebook post.
Oh, she did? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's who I was thinking of. I don't know why when you said Diane, it didn't click. But I remember her and her sister.
Yeah. Billy.
Billy. Not Bobby. There you go. Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah. I only remember so much of like in that group.
Yeah.
And like I remember like as you got older, like and more into like 5, 6, 7, whatever, but then we switched groups and my group switched. We added more, so I had like different people that I'm like,
yeah.
And I don't know when that transition happened.
I can't remember how old we were when that happened.
But what are some fun gym memories that you remember?
Oh,
like being in the gym.
Oh, I just remember Lover's Leap, that game.
Yeah, that was like where my first head went.
That was the best game. And we were always partners.
Like, weren't we good, or did I just make that in my head?
We were so good. I'm pretty sure we won every time because we could just tell. Yeah. Like, we knew exactly whatever they called, whatever it was, we knew who was going to be doing what. Yeah.
And like, nobody tried to be our partner. And maybe that made it be easier. They're just like, we just were like, no, it's us. Like, she's my partner.
No question.
Like, you're picking me up.
Yeah.
Like, it was always like we knew what our roles were.
Exactly. And we just did it.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure we dominated.
I think so too. I mean,
if anyone's listening, if we were wrong,
I still don't believe you.
Yeah, you're lying.
It's okay. But I'm like, I definitely feel like I think of that. I'm like, we were so good. But I'm like, who knows? Really knows? Yeah. Like,
what is our little 7, 8-year-old brain
even remember? Like, and I also remember, this is one of the things that like randomly came up into my head when I was thinking of people that was in our group. And I always loved Kirsten and Kelsey. And I always was like, oh my gosh, like they're so cool.
Because they were older than us. And it's funny because they're
so cool. Like now I look, I'm like, they're not that much older. But at the time, they're like, oh, they're so cool. They're so pretty. They're so much older. I want to be like them. I remember specifically, I don't know how me and you got on this topic or why we thought about.
I'm scared.
Thought about this. I know as a child, I always thought like, I wish I could sing. I know I couldn't, never could. Yeah. But I remember me and you, I guess we were either not having an argument, but having a like being competitive, and we decided one of us could sing better than the other. Oh, like maybe I could or you could. I don't remember this so we sang for Kelsey.
Oh my gosh.
Just a little bit like on floor. We were on floor just to like hit a note and to see who. And I'm curious on if she would remember that. But I like, and it's just like a small little clip of memory of like we were asking her who sounded better. And like this note or this one little clip of like a song maybe. I don't even remember what song. I don't remember who she picked. Wow. I just remember asking her and we wanted her opinion. I guess because we thought maybe she was the best like person to ask
the best
for
judge,
that.
And I was like, of that.
What even? I mean, it's only a little clip of a memory. And I'm like, what even
How funny.
got that? Like,
I don't remember that at all.
That's funny.
Because I have never, ever felt like I could sing.
No. I didn't either, but I wanted to be able to. I still do.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, but
that's
like,
so funny.
How, like, why? And I'm sure she was like, I don't care.
She's probably thinking in her head, well, you both suck.
Yeah. Like,
you're equally bad.
Probably confused on like, so do you think you guys sound good? And you guys are really truly wanting to like me to pick a winner? Because clearly neither one of you do.
And we were serious. Like we were serious
and
about
she
it.
was so sweet. So she probably was so sweet to us.
Yeah.
But in her head, I mean, I can't even imagine.
Do you remember swimming at her house?
Yes.
And like with the buckets?
Yeah. That's so funny.
She taught us how to hold our breath.
Yes.
Put a bucket on her head and then would push us down in the pool. And
that's so funny.
Because we used to have sleepovers at her house, right?
Mm-hmm. And because they had a basement, didn't they? I felt like.
Yeah, I remember going down.
Right, yeah. And I thought that was the coolest thing.
And going up, they had like an attic too, because she had the beam up there. Remember, she had a full-size beam.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she had a sauna or a steam room.
Oh, I don't know.
Up there. You remember her turtle bit me?
I don't remember that.
Oh, it hurt so bad. Yeah,
turtle bites are no joke.
Yeah.
They suck.
Have you ever been bitten by a turtle?
No. Okay. Taylor has.
Oh.
Yeah, like
sounds about right.
A snapping turtle, and it was one of those things where it's like, don't get so close because it will. And I was like, haha. And
it got him.
So, not me. I think I'm pretty sure it was when we were in that like Texas area when I was younger before we moved to even Georgia when we went to the creek. I want to say it was in that. And yeah. So just that alone, no thanks. But we used to always play with turtles.
Huh.
Because that's what we used to do at grandmother's house. We would find turtles and put
in the back.
Our initials on the shells. Yeah. And then if you ever saw them again, you saw them again. But I mean, I guess I never really was like, hey, just kind of pick them up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if those turtles bite. Like,
I would imagine they all can bite.
Probably.
They all have that ability.
Right. I guess maybe you didn't feel threatened. What were you doing to the turtle?
Kelsey's got me. I don't know.
Yikes.
I don't know.
Dang reptiles.
Yeah.
I'll say those were swimming was a big thing that we did.
Yeah, we swam all the time. We took our swimming very seriously.
Very seriously.
We had a routine on the diving board
before we started to play.
Yeah. And we just
whatever reason.
We didn't even talk to each other when we did it. You would jump and run out and I would jump. Yep. Yeah.
It was like straight, what was it? Straight jump,
straight
tug,
jump, hike, straddle.
And then it turned into
dives. And then we do backwards,
dives.
And then
I feel like we started doing like front
flips and stuff.
And then it was like, okay, now we played after. Like, I don't know.
I guess.
Then it was like, okay,
I just remember jumping in, swimming to
it was so serious.
Swimming to the side. Yeah. And then getting out and doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
And we didn't talk. We played a lot of mermaids.
We did play a lot of mermaids. Yeah.
That was pretty much what we did. Mermaids and our diving routine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like.
We were not, we just lived in our own little world.
We did. It literally was me and you, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was content. We came up with things, and we were just fine.
Yeah.
Slip and slide on the trampoline with socks. That's how we learned how to, our Heelys skills.
That's how we think we learned.
Yeah. I feel like we probably didn't. I feel like we would have been fine at it either way because, I mean, we were athletic. We did gymnastics. It wasn't like we didn't know how to like
we knew how to do
things. But Heelys, man. I saw someone not that long ago actually in the airport heeling.
Really?
And I laughed and I was like, wait, why can't I do that? You have some?
Little Heston has them.
I bet we could fit into them.
Has them. Yeah.
Oh, no, not Big Heston.
You could fit into Little Heston's for sure.
Absolutely. I wonder if I could still do it.
Totally. I did it.
Really?
If I can do it, you can do it for sure.
I don't know.
You got it.
But yeah, I was like, wait, I need Heelys for the airport. That's legit.
I was always so afraid to wear them anywhere because we always got yelled at.
Yeah.
Costco, the mall.
Yeah. It's like, what am I supposed to do with these?
Yeah. What's the point of having them?
If you can't Heely around. And didn't each like color mean like you like faster?
Yeah. There was
like
different
red
levels.
was faster, which
it was like red and yellow.
Like thinking about that now, I'm like, were they really? Or was that like a selling tactic? Because
it got sold out.
I mean, it did because I had multiple colored wheels because I wanted it to be able to go faster. Yeah. But I'm like, I feel like I'm the one going faster, not the wheels. Because the wheels are like this big and like, how is that going to speed me up?
I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, it worked because it was something I wanted the fast. Yeah. I wanted the faster colored wheels.
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Another memory was going to your house the first time. And you and Taylor is like middle of summer, I'm sure. And my mom's driving. It's the first time going to your house. Taylor's outside and you're outside. huge comforters. Like duvet comforters, yeah. And you were like rolling around on office chairs.
Oh, yeah. And like down, because our driveway was sloped. Yeah.
And my mom's like, is this your friend? Yeah. And I remember being like, yep.
Like, and just like,
this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
This is her.
This is the place. Yeah.
Well, that's so funny. I love that even more though, too. Like that
it just was like, so,
that you really, it was to where it was like that confidence of like, I'm still really sticking to like, this girl is going to be my friend.
This is who I've chosen.
Like, and I'm really sticking to it. Mm-hmm. That's so funny. I do remember it was that simple of that becoming best friends. Mm-hmm. Just asking. You asked me.
Yeah.
It's like the Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends? Yup.
I was thinking of that this morning.
Literally exactly what happened.
Yeah. There was no hatred beforehand.
No, yeah.
It was just like, are we best friends now?
Yeah.
Like, can I tell people that you're my best friend?
Yeah. And it was like, yeah.
I was like, duh.
And that was it. And then we were. And we told everybody.
We just asked each other.
And I'm pretty sure that was pretty early on. Like, I don't think it was like months down the road. I'm pretty sure it was like
probably a weekend.
Yeah, it was like, hey, so we're good.
And my parents were super strict on sleepovers.
Yes.
And so Chandler's house was the only house that I was ever allowed to have a sleepover in.
Yeah. Truly an honor.
Yeah.
Really, though.
Really.
It really, to me, and I don't even have kids.
Yeah.
But even like to think about that be something that you're like, no, we don't do. But it was like, you know what?
You got the exception.
There's just something about her.
I wonder if you slept over at our house more at the beginning.
Oh, I did for sure.
Yeah.
But I also, too, I think this is going to wrap into another funny story. I felt like there was more to do at your house. There was the pool. That's exciting. Mm-hmm. So with that, I don't know if you remember this memory, but after we swam, we would always go and get like in a hot shower, a hot tub, and just like talk.
Yeah.
You literally looked at me one time and got like super serious. And you're like, can I ask you something? And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And you're like, are you only best friends with me because I have a pool?
I remember like thinking that.
And I went, in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, And so like, it's funny like looking at that now as like an adult, then you're like, what was I doing to make her think that?
Yeah.
Like, and then I'm like, of course we always played in the pool because why would you not? If you had a pool, like if we had a pool at my house, we'd be playing at the pool at my house.
Yeah.
Like what else do you do? And like, no offense to you, like there was many other friends I could have found with a pool in Arizona.
Absolutely.
Because I think like 99% of houses had pools. Like it's almost like illegal not to, I feel like, in Arizona. It's so hot. And you can't be outside without being in water almost.
Right, or you just have to stay inside.
And then I was talking, as an adult, I was talking to Mom about that like funny memory. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did somebody like make you feel like that at one point that you were like almost like.
That's what I'm wondering. Why? Like who's like slipped that narrative into my path that would ever make me think that.
Yeah. Or like or just as a kid, it just popped in your head and you just were like, I'm going to ask her.
Yeah.
And you did. And I was like, oh no. And then I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's so
and
funny.
then that was it. And then it was like, okay.
Move on.
So easy.
Yeah.
But like now as an adult, you can like really like almost like over evaluate that. Like what made you think that? Did someone
like
make you feel that way?
Wonder if I heard something.
What did I do? Like
another girl said something at gym or.
Yeah. But I was like, it was so funny. And I was like, oh my gosh, no.
That's
interesting. But I'm like, but we did. That is all we did at your house.
Yeah.
Besides like trampoline and stuff. But I didn't say all.
We did make up a lot of dances.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
That was definitely a very.
Which one do you remember the most?
I don't know. But for me, like when I think of the songs that back in the day of dancing to, like Avril Lavigne was always, I feel like, a big one.
We liked her. Remember the Shania Twain dance? With
Shania. She's good too.
I Feel Like 90s. A Woman. Yeah. And we did I
don't remember any of the dances.
We thought this was the best dance ever.
Well, everything we did was the best. Like
That's true.
Genuinely were like, the confidence was not lacking.
No.
I don't think we ever, and I'm talking about all aspects, whether it's us individually, our friendship, like other people we lack no confidence as kids.
Yeah.
It was like either, I think we were confident that people probably did like us, but if they didn't, we were so confident that we were like, okay, whatever.
Or was our friendship fulfilling enough that it was like, I don't really care if you like me or not.
But we were so confident. Like wasn't like, oh my God, what if she's not gonna be my friend in a year?
Yeah, it was
that
never a
was
question.
Like ever to where
we were like locked in immediately.
And I think that's why it's funny when I think about that question you asked me of how simple it was that you felt like, I'm going to ask you, I answered, you believed me, we moved on.
Yeah, done and over with.
Because now as an adult, if you ask me something like that, that's not how that would go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of analyzing. There's a lot that would go into it. It's not so simple. I'm like,
there's a thought process of you asking me as an adult that I'm like, it's crazy how things get like deeper as you get older and like life experiences. Yeah. If you ask me something like that now, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Yeah.
You know? But as it was just like, that was it. Simple, done, move on.
Yeah, so simple.
Probably went back in the pool.
Yeah. Ate some cookie dough. Moved on. Remember that?
Yeah.
Getting a spoonful of cookie dough.
I remember doing that a lot out of the jug y'all had
from Costco.
And picking out the chips first.
Yeah.
Watching Friends.
Yeah.
Because in the summer, you guys started season 1.
All the Friends, yeah.
And it just was, it literally was just on
all the time.
All throughout the summer to finish season 10.
Yeah.
So it was just the background of summer at your house.
That's a good way to
It was always on the TV, even if people weren't in the room. Because in summer, everybody's in and out in the kitchen, eating, snacking, outside, your parent, whatever.
Yeah.
That it just was on the TV.
That's
and
true.
so then we would, if we stopped and break, then we would watch whatever
episode was playing at the time.
Or in that moment, and then go back out or whatever.
So we were friends in, would it be 3rd grade? Around 3rd or 4th grade?
The start of it?
The start of our friendship.
Earlier. It was 2nd grade.
2nd grade.
When I was there, yeah.
And then you moved. So let's go through that timeline.
I moved the middle of 5th grade.
Middle of 5th grade.
When I
moved. Was that soon?
Yeah. And that's a weird thing to think because that's only 3.5 years of friendship. But like, to where like, and this was my first thought process. I will give probably most of the credit at that point to our parents. Because I think about at that age, friends moving. Yeah. That's it. And it's not like we moved an hour away.
Yeah.
I literally moved to a different state.
You did move to a different state.
10 hours away. So for me, I think about that could have so easily have been the end of that friendship.
Yeah, and I think about that often.
Without any, like,
adult support of keeping this
that
going.
Friendship could have ended, and that makes sense. That to me makes the most sense that our friendship ended at that point.
Yeah.
To me, in my head, like, no really makes sense of that continuing. Gonna get deep here. To me, that's a very big, like, God thing.
Yeah.
Because it really, why? Like, that was so easy to just be like, well, we moved, you'll 10,
find another
11.
friend.
Like, you're 11.
Yeah.
Like, you have the rest of your life of friends. That was a good friendship, outlasted. She was there.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm like, we coming back over summers.
Like, I would go stay with
and my thing is that couldn't have happened without parents supporting of our travel, getting us there, coming down for the summer, you coming to me, all those things, like losing my grandparents, like it's just, I was thinking about that and I feel kind of guilty. I didn't think about this like earlier than this, but when I was going over this episode of like, wow, like our parents, like
that
we
never
couldn't
even occurred
have
to me.
done that because what were we gonna do? That friendship would have ended if we didn't have extra help because we can't drive, we don't have money,
we didn't have a way to connect with each other.
To where it was like we had these ideas of like, hey, probably leaving, like we're gonna keep in touch. We were really close at that. Obviously, at that point, like we had spent obviously an extreme amount of time more than typical friends our age probably did. And I think that did play a role of like maybe our parents were like, okay, like they're serious about their friendship.
Yeah.
But being able to be like, hey, I want to go back and visit and be like, okay, we're going to.
And eventually
like making the point
come
to
live with me.
Yeah.
For
8th grade.
8th grade.
So, and to feel comfortable, not that I would never not, but like my mom, like just be like, yeah, like go do that. That's what you want to do.
Trusting
that's a good
my
idea.
family with her daughter. That's a big deal.
And literally just then moved in. And to me, it wasn't a big deal. It was like, oh yeah, cool, like I'm going to live with you.
Yeah. And I think back to that time, like I'd never had shared a room with anyone. I'm the only girl.
Nope.
And you were just there in my room.
Like in the same bed.
Yeah,
I didn't have my own bed.
Mm-mm.
It was like I literally took up your space.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Which I never, like, I only look back at that time with fond, happy memories and like having a dream come true. My best friends living with me. We got to go to the same school. Yeah. My cousin drove us.
That was ride the whip was.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I forgot about.
I know he did.
We had a lot of people at my house at that time.
Well, it was
you, Michael, all my brothers.
But then wasn't one of them gone at one point and then one back?
You're probably right.
Something. There was definitely like a revolving door at that moment. Like Chad was gone or in, and then he was in, but then they were both in, and then at some point I left. But yeah, there was at one point. I mean, there was.
Did you live with us the same time that Chris's friend also lived with us?
No.
I can't remember. It was just
Michael.
Of it.
And I will say, can you imagine the amount of food that your mom had to buy?
Oh, just
for me and Michael alone.
Yeah.
Like your mom literally made meatloaf, best meatloaf, love it to this day. Literally made me my own pan.
Yeah.
Because she was like, well, she can have like half of this pan.
Yeah.
So we need like one more pan.
Well, because the hours you were training at gymnastics, you had to eat.
But I'm like, oh my gosh.
The amount of
thinking
calories.
About that. And Michael.
Yeah.
Well, just like boys in general. But Michael he was like me. Like we ate.
You guys could eat.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like she was probably cooking all the time.
That's so funny. I hadn't even thought about that.
Like
timing.
Snacking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look back at that and I'm like, yeah, I mean, we put in the thought of what we wanted and we liked each other enough to be like, well, yeah, and the kids are naive.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in a bad way, but like, yeah, we're going to stay friends.
Yeah.
But like, we actually did.
We did.
But like, realistically, we couldn't have done that without our parents.
True.
And letting us do that and be like, oh, okay, well, we're going to keep letting them experience and explore this friendship as long as they want. Mm-hmm. I'm sure if we came to the point where we kind of like, oh, we don't want to, they probably would have been like, okay, that makes sense. Because that would have. It
just never seemed like an option that was even thought about on.
And no, like I never, very legit from the beginning, it was always just like, yeah, like this is it, done. Mm-hmm. It was never a worry of, is this going to fizzle?
Yeah, or does she not like me anymore?
Oh my gosh, like we're going off to college, you're getting married, you're having, it was just like, okay, add it in.
A constant.
It was just like, let's add this stuff in.
Yeah.
It's not like oh no. But I don't know, and it might be more than I think we realize. I don't know. Doesn't seem very common.
I wouldn't think so.
Especially from that young of an age.
Well, and especially because we were the connection first. Mm-hmm. I can see if it was like our parents grew up together and they're really close and we're just friends by default. But
we made the connection.
It was us.
And we chose it.
Our families eventually really got intertwined with their own friendships with each other. Our parents are close.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like became a blended like little like friend family. Family.
Yeah.
At this point. Knowing that everybody at any point could call, need help, do anything wasn't a big, but like you said, it was us. Mm-hmm. It wasn't on their end to begin with. Like, we were forced, like we chose it and we kept choosing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big deal too, just in general in relationships. Mm-hmm. It's like just choosing to put that in.
Yeah.
And not, putting the effort in.
Yeah. And keep continuing to grow with each other.
Yeah. There's definitely different stages. I think we've had some extra stages. I think on top of the distance, I always look back and I'm like, oh, well, that would have been nice. Like, could you imagine like how much more stuff we would have done, our memories, if we were by each other?
Yeah.
Selfishly. But just the effort of being like, no, like we're doing this and we take what we can and we appreciate it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And sadly, I think in relationships in general, that's rare.
Yeah.
Of like choosing, because it is a choice every day, even if it's not ideal or what we had pictured or what we wanted, because I didn't picture like leaving.
No,
those circumstances, not what I wanted.
It was such a surprise.
The end of, on the other end too, back at home in New Mexico, obviously none of those things were like what we wanted, but adapting to those things and making the point of like, you came to me in the summers and I went up to you and things like that. And continued on throughout life of like, okay, summertime is Arizona time, especially because that was easy time with obviously school.
Right.
You couldn't just like take off. Now it's a little different. I can just take off on apparently a random Thursday and come on down. So it's a little different, but
yeah, more flexibility.
Yeah. So do you want to do the Q&A?
What's next?
Do we want to do that?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm scared.
I am too. Okay. So we're going to both answer. We can read off a question. You can read off a question, whichever you want to do it. But I'm going to have my answer. Are you going to guess what you think my answer to the question is? And then
see the questions and then see how it will work.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay.
I like these. These are good.
These are good. So, but I feel like, oh no.
Okay.
So I feel like these are more of something that like we can individually answer.
Okay.
Instead of like you guessing.
Got it.
Because I think these are a little bit more like if it was like, hey, what's my favorite color? I could see if you could guess it. Which, okay, that's the easy one. Everybody and their mom knows my favorite color. It's purple, by the way, if you don't know that. But I feel like this will just be fun to kind of read off and we can each say what we think individually of ourselves personally.
So I'll read the first question. Okay. What's a memory of ours that you think perfectly sums up our friendship?
That's hard. There's so many.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to say a couple different like random memories. Some we've already talked about. And then I'll like explain why. Okay. So we talked about the swimming one.
Yeah.
And the jumping and like how we had like our routine and we went and we were just like, boom. The gym ones with the games where we just like knew, we talked, we commute, like we just, it was like, this is it. You pick me up, we're done. And then we're like ready to go.
Yeah.
I also, this is such a random one. Remember, I don't know if you remember this, me getting stuck in your laundry basket.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Folded in half, right?
And then just like tipped over and freaked out. And you're laughing. I'm starting to panic because then you can't get me out.
Can't take a drink. That's so funny.
So there's that one. That was like one of my, it's just, that's so
You
funny.
were the blue one.
Yeah, I was stuck. Yeah. Like, that was it.
How did I get you out? Did I just
think you had to tip me over and you like kind of shimmied it off my butt.
It's a good thing we were flexible.
Yes, it really was. I guess I probably wouldn't have fallen in if I wasn't flexible. Honestly, probably.
Double-edged sword there.
The chalupa explosion. Those are a good one. So those ones to me, I just think, because I think of our friendship as a little bit of like chaos, but like to us in a fun way. Yeah. Like the things that maybe made us laugh or we had fun with maybe didn't make sense to other people.
Yeah, definitely didn't make sense to other people, I'm sure.
We definitely had a lot of like moments that like to us, like the click was just like hilarious. And we just like so funny.
And still to this day. And then telling your mom that memory and her going, are you serious?
Did you do that?
Did you really do that?
Like, yeah. Are you serious that you don't think that we did that?
Now as an adult, absolutely mortified that I ever did anything like that. Truly.
But it's just like, we were so just like kind of weird, kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in a bad way, but just like funny things happened. We enjoyed it. Like, I just feel like, and we rolled with it. Like, we were like, oh my gosh, like just so fun. Always having fun. I don't really remember not. And like simple things. To us was so fun. Or like we had jokes that people just did.
Yeah, we just made it. Anything we did together, anywhere we went together, we just made it fun.
Like, and everything to us was fun. Like, we just laughed or things that maybe didn't make sense. So I just feel like a little bit intense. We were intense kids. I think slightly are. I think I'm more so now than you are.
Yeah, I think I've relaxed a little bit.
Kids have really
knocked it out of me.
Like, I just think like certain things don't matter anymore. Yeah. Which makes sense. Yeah. Like, it's worth it.
Because I remember, like, just even a few years ago, I think I only had the first two. And I think it was the first time you surprised me because we hadn't really seen each other in a few years.
Yeah, there was a
big space there because you were going through school. You were starting these, like, big girl jobs.
Yeah, and you guys were in Idaho.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot we were in Idaho for a period of time. And so we were back in Arizona. I'd had Liv, my second baby, and she was, I don't even know if she was 1. And you just came into the house with my mom and surprised me.
We have the video, Cody.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And I remember you saying like, wow, you're way less of like an intense mom than I thought you were. Yeah. Like you're really calm about things. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Because like just knowing, and just us in general, and not in a bad way, I think there's so much good of like the intensity of like just always knowing like who we are, what we wanted, expectations of things. I think sometimes maybe that's where we got in trouble. Like you kind of like the standards of like what maybe we held that moment or that person to.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It's fun to see. It was fun to see, I think, too. And at that point, that was our longest we've gone without seeing each other. So there was a lot of change and a lot of new. So which is
new
was
roles
fun.
that I was in as like a mom like with 2 kids.
Experiencing.
And,
So I think that was fun. But I think we had a little bit of intensity to us that I think those little stories played a role in, just kind of fun because we were just like, you pick me up, we would do this, and like you said, we didn't talk when we did those things. We just knew what each other needed. Jump in, like we sat there in silence, and we did our routine and we moved on. Like why? Like it's just funny to me, like those little like quirky little moments as kids.
I think I always go back to the initial start of our friendship. Like, you want to be my best friend?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to our character because I'm the same way. Like if I meet someone or if I'm with someone, I'm 100% for you.
Yeah.
And if you give that back to me, I'm 100% there for you in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like with friends now as an adult, I don't have many, but the ones that I do have, it's like I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Your kid's doing that, I'm going to be there for your kid's activity. You want me there? Sure. I'll do that with you, you know? And I think that's just both of us like, okay, I'm going to fulfill that role for you. So like I'm here.
Yeah.
You know?
Like putting in the effort and really like sticking to it.
Yeah. So I think that it was just, we make things simple, I think, in our lives. So we don't overthink a ton of things in that area. So I think just that simple fact of like, so are we best friends? Yep.
I'm done.
That's it.
That was it. And it was done.
Yeah.
Sealed the deal.
20-something years ago.
Yeah.
All right. You want to read the second question?
Yeah, one. What's something you've always admired about me but never told me? You want me to go first or you? I mean, I already know. Well, I feel like I probably have told you.
Yeah. There's not much that we don't say to each other.
Like, there's not something that if I admire something about you, I'm going to tell you. Like, I wouldn't keep that secret, babe, girl. Pump you up.
Yeah. Like, we're just very for each other. Yeah. I don't know if I've told you how awesome I think your boutique is because you had said to me a couple years ago you want to do something.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I admire about you. Like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. And you were sharing some thing that you and Ryan are working on, expanding some things, and like you're doing it.
Yeah.
So you're just, you put action in the words that you say turn into action. Yeah. There's nothing that you've ever said that I would ever sit and go like, oh, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's nice that you're thinking
you're like,
that.
Cool. I mean, I might have some crazy ideas that, but
like real things that actually matter.
Like things that like I really have like sat on or really want to do. Like you said, like I've talked about that for a couple of years. I sat on it. Wasn't like this podcast that will be one day we're at lunch, we're like, hey, let's do it. We're doing it. But hey, putting actions into words.
Exactly.
Words into actions.
Words and actions. Yeah.
Whatever. So for me, which I'm sure I've told you this. I hope I have. If not, I'm sorry. But I think you're the greatest mom. And so I'm probably going to cry. Dang it. So I thought I was going to make it through the first half. Like I knew I was going to cry at some point. But for me, it's been like really cool to see because like we said, as kids, I know you as a kid. And I still like know you from kid and like what we did, and like it kind of makes me laugh to think that we're adults and that you have 3 children. I'm like, okay, like we were talking about that earlier. Like with Liv's like, are you adults? And we're like, we're just kind of acting like it. Like I don't know, it's weird, but I'm like, it's so crazy to see, and I think that, and I know it's not easy, but but you make it look easy. Like,
Thank you.
It almost seems like it's like, oh yeah, duh. Like, I know you worried. I know you have, thoughts and things. I mean, every mom does, but you don't show it. You're just so like put together, but not to the point to where like you're not okay being like, hey, this is hard, or this day was hard, or I'm struggling with this, or not to where you're not like real or genuine, but you just look so natural and so easy with it, and that you enjoy it. And it's so cool to see. And like when we went through that not seeing each other for a while, I saw you the weekend you found out you were pregnant with Heston.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Ryan came down.
Oh, yes.
And then that was it for a while because y'all moved. I got into school and it was like I didn't have much of summer anymore. You were off and so that was a really like, for me, a longer season of like not really experiencing life with you.
Yeah.
And then seeing it, it was just like, oh my gosh. Like, and then you had Liv, and then it was like, now you have Roan, but it was like, oh my gosh, like, who is this?
I forgot you guys were there.
It was like it was fun to see, but it was also like such a big gap to see that it was like you changed so much in my eyes in that season because there was a big gap. And that's a big change to go from a newly married to a mom.
Yeah.
From when I saw you. And so I think to me, that's just, you're so dang good at it.
Thank you.
So dang good at it. Watched what I said. And I just love seeing it. I think to me, like, not that you haven't done things that I'm proud of, but like, it's just so cool. They're so great. I love them. And I selfishly enjoy that I get to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That you welcome me in, and Liv's like, hey, can I tell her about my dance recital? Like, I love that I can be able to come to those.
Yeah, you're such a big part of my kids' lives.
I want to be.
Yeah.
And so I think that's cool that I'm invited into that season. So
yeah. Well, and I love the idea of Liv growing up and having you as someone like, I need to call Chandler, like just to talk things through with. And for me as a mom, that means so much to have my kids have another adult, another trusted adult that's safe, that they can turn to and call, and or Liv can call and say, why is my mom crazy?
Yeah. And like, girl, I don't know. She's been crazy since we were 8.
Exactly.
Go get her Taco Bell. Get her a Chipotle. I don't know.
Problem solved. But like that's a whole other relationship and aspect of having you as a friend that I've never thought of until literally this moment that my kids have. They'll have their own separate connection with you, which is really cool. Yeah,
it's funny to think of like and I think about that with like Hannah and Kenyon.
Yeah.
And I'm comparing them in the sense of like, to me, you're not just like, oh, you're a friend.
Right.
I mean, you've been here forever. Those kids will be a part of my life forever.
Yeah.
But thinking about that with like them in the sense of like, now you have to the point where we have your own relationship. Like me and Caitlin, me and you, like we have our own relationships, but those kids are going to have a relationship with me because I'm going to make the point to have a relationship with them.
Yes.
And do things with them and for them. And if they want to talk to me, they can talk to me. If they want to come see me, they can see, to where it's like they have the ability to know that I will be there on whatever terms that they need. Like you said, if they want to call or hang out or whatever. So I think that's fun for me, and selfishly, I enjoy that I get to have that. So everyone should have all the babies.
Yes.
keep popping them out. Okay, you want to read the next one?
If we could time travel together, what moment in history or our lives would you want us to experience?
Oh, that's easy for me. I would just want to go back to being a kid.
Yeah, just like for one day, just do a day in my life.
Or maybe like a week.
A week would be good.
Yeah.
That would be so fun.
Like I think we had so much fun. And also, obviously, being a kid, it's just like, you're so easy. You don't think anything. We had no worries.
We thought we did, but we really didn't.
We really didn't.
Yeah.
And we really had it so easy and so fun. And we got to do all the things. And I don't know. I just think we had so much fun together. It'd be so fun to see like little things that we did that we don't remember
for a little while.
Just the innocence and the no worries and the confidence of just like, we got this. So fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That would be nice.
Yeah. What's one ridiculous argument you've had that you still think about?
Go ahead.
No, you could go.
I think I told you last time we were visiting the song that Toby Keith sang.
Yes.
Because, and I don't remember what I like about, is it that one? What I like about me?
The words like,
I want to talk about
me,
you.
Want to talk about I want,
that song.
Yeah.
And I remember saying like, that's Toby Keith. And you're like, no, it's not.
Who did I think it was?
I don't know.
Because that's Toby Keith, right?
And maybe it wasn't that specific one, but I remember us having a disagreement about who sang the song.
Yeah, and naturally,
And so I sat and watched CMT
music videos
or whatever.
That was the best.
And waited for this song to come on so I could see that it was the artist.
The stubbornness comes in.
And then I remember saying like, it is. I watched it. And you're like, okay.
Because you had to prove a point.
And there was never any like, oh, you're right. It was just like,
whatever.
I don't really care.
Yeah. Like moving on. And I have a track record apparently doing that. Because I told you about my friend in middle school. Literally that night I texted her. I said, hey, because the song came on. And no, it was when I got back into town. The song came on the radio. And I screenshotted it to her. And I sent it to her. I said, hey, do you remember when I argued that I thought this was Brad Pitt? She goes, oh, yeah, I remember that. I was like, I was wrong. She started like, she goes, yeah, I knew. And I was like, it's so funny because I'm like, I was so convinced.
You were so sure. And you were so sure about it.
And then when I sent her this picture of the guy and who sang it, and I go, and by the way, like, who is this guy? Like, we still don't even know this guy. Like, I still thought it was, like, I could still tell you, I thought, oh, yeah, Brad Paisley. Because I'm like, who's this? I don't even know who it is. It's like a one-hit wonder guy that sang it. And I for sure was wrong. So apparently I have a track record of thanking singers, but I did admit I don't know singers, songs, books. I can't tell you. Like, I'll know the lyrics.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like obvious.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm like, I'm not very good. Ryan will quiz me.
But you seem so sure.
Yeah, I got the confidence, fake it till you make it.
What's something you think we'd totally fail at if we tried it together? I think that we have the ability to make anything work. So I don't
feel
know.
like we're so overly confident.
Yeah, that we wouldn't think that we were going to fail.
And even if we were failing, we probably wouldn't even think we were failing.
Yeah, because while we're doing whatever we're doing, we're having fun.
We don't care. And it wouldn't be considered a failure. But, I'm sure if we got really thinking into it, there's some things we probably like, I don't know, like some kind of race thing, because I can't run. So I would like take you down. Like, we can't do anything like that. Like team running. Like I can't run. So we would fail because of me.
Mm-hmm.
But
is it really a failure?
But we have fun.
We got to be together.
And like, I guess going in, we would know that I can't run.
Yeah.
So it's like our expectations really wouldn't be set too high.
Yeah.
I mean.
So I don't know. I don't think that we would ever. I don't know.
Everything we do is gold.
Yeah. Well, and I think we have the perspective too that a failure is not really a failure.
Yeah. If we're doing it together, our mindset probably is more so of like finding the joy in it and more of like what we want to do with it instead of like, okay, we're doing this because we're going to be the number one or the best or whatever it is. That's not like what we're really leaning into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong. Nobody likes failing, but like my mind going into something like that with you wouldn't be that. It would be that I want to enjoy what we're doing. Let's have
no
fun
matter
with
what
it.
we're doing, it's going to be fun.
The pressure of it isn't going to be there. It's just going to be a genuine, just fun, enjoyable.
Yeah. So why did we start this podcast?
Well, I mean, if you want to keep it simple, we just had like a 5-second conversation about it and you were like, hey, let's do it. And I said, okay, because I have always honestly wanted to.
Yeah.
But the thought of doing that just seemed really like
probably overwhelming.
Difficult. Yeah, overwhelming. And again, like you said earlier, I knew I wanted to do try the boutique.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I think my brain can only like handle one new thing, completely new thing. Like,
because you're learning so much.
I went way out of my comfort zone of like what I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having fun with it, and I was like, this would be so fun to do, but how do you even begin?
Yeah, where do you start?
So when you guys even just like started this new little like journey, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so fun. Like, how cool would that be? And in my head, I'm like, again, still never thinking like, I'm going to come to Arizona and do a podcast. Like, I still didn't even think that. But when you're like, we could do this, I'm like, okay.
We were sitting in this room.
It was as simple as that.
Yeah, we were sitting in this room at the tables that are typically set up here.
Yeah.
And I had the mic in front of me and I was just messing around and you sat across from me and I'm like, why don't we just do this?
Yeah.
Let's just do this. And you were like, I don't know. I don't really remember what you said, but you were just like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And I said, we might as well. We have this access to this great studio.
Yeah. Why not just try it?
Why not try it?
It was just as simple as that, especially it's like friends, want to be best friends? Yep.
Yeah.
Just as simple as that. And that was the thing with me. I went home, I told Ryan, and I was like, and of course, like I left that trip thinking like it would be fun, but not knowing fully like, okay, is she really going to want to do this? Do we really? But I went home and I told Ryan, I was like, I don't know, we talked about like, I really want to. And I remember you had texted me not that long and kind of like brought it up, and I was like, I want to do it.
And you sent me a voice message and you're like, all right.
Yeah. Like I was like, we just need to do, I think it'd be so fun. On a deeper note of that, for me wanting to do this, I just think it's just such a cool opportunity to be able to do it with you. And I think that to me almost took off the pressure of like it not just being me.
Right.
It's have someone with me, somebody that I know, feel comfortable with, makes it easy that we together could come up with ideas or just have fun with it and really just be just like an easy conversation, light encouragement, like confidence, just like eventually grow, maybe some hopefully laughs.
Yeah.
Bringing people on and just being like, just an encouragement. I just feel like that's just such a needed thing.
Yeah.
And a positive
just uplifting.
Thing. Yeah. Just an easy, light
uplifting
thing.
to each other, uplifting to others.
Yeah.
Hopefully
people listen, just enjoy the easy conversation of things, of friendships and what it can be, and maybe helpful of like certain things that people go through, different seasons, ups and downs, highs and lows. Bringing people on and just hearing different stories. I think it's just so powerful to hear people's stories and testimonies. Feeling like you're not alone.
Yes,
you're not.
Huge.
And I think sometimes this world does feel lonely.
Yeah, it makes you feel very isolated.
And I think as you get older and women, maybe like wives, parents, like there's just so much that goes on that sometimes I think you feel alone. And also remembering that maybe too as a friend that you can help make that person not feel alone.
Right.
And, admitting those to where it's like, okay, there might not be times where it's like, okay, I kind of failed on that end.
Yeah.
What do you need from me kind of thing? So just encouraging, just fun, light, maybe deep sometimes, but fun.
Yeah.
Because I'm not afraid to do that either. But
yeah.
So what really, you just were like, this would be fun?
Yeah. Just more fun than anything and helpful, uplifting. I think for me, being a mom, that role can be very isolating. Heston works a lot. He's a very hard worker.
Yeah.
I am alone a lot, which is fine. I'm with my 3 kids, but I'm just looking forward to having something separate from that role that is positive, fulfilling, uplifting. I get to be a little bit creative. I get to be a little bit different than who I am every single day to my kids. And just kind of reconnecting with myself a little bit, because anyone who's a mom or has done anything different with their lives, you get really into that role and you get into the repetition and the routine, and then you step out of it and go, there's so much more I can still do.
Yeah. Or sometimes like, who am I out of this?
Right. Who am I without my kids?
Or without this job, or without, there's just so much more to what we are.
Yeah.
I think as people, women, whatever.
Yeah.
That it's like really like embracing those things outside of each individual and just maybe having something for yourself.
Yeah, a little separate, and I'm hopeful that my kids will look at me doing something like this and going,
encouraging.
Oh, remember when you did that, Mom? Like that was so cool.
Yeah. They were
that
already
was so
saying
fun.
today,
why
can't we go to the studio?
I want to go to the studio.
Yeah. So they were already excited for you and doing that.
Yeah.
So that's fun to see. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're here at AZ Rocket Studios in Tempe, Arizona, and we're doing it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Here we go.
That was a good first episode.
I think so.
We can wrap it up there, I think. But thank you for doing this for me.
Thank you.
Letting me come down and do this, and I'm excited for the next episodes.
Yeah. Here we go.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you next week.
Sounds good.